Well, it's been a little while since I've made a video, so I figure I would at least showcase what I've been working on. Behind me here is a very large dead standing spruce tree, and I just cut it down because it looked like some extremely good wood inside, and I was correct in that assumption. The growth rings are very tight together, and there doesn't appear to be any rot throughout the core. This thing was standing up, still had all its branches on, but it is clearly dead. So it's actually one of the best kind of trees you can harvest because it is going to be dry and it's going to be wood that's ready to use immediately. So I'm going to be harvesting this wood and sledging it over to my sawmill and cutting it up into boards, and then I can use those boards right away to build myself some cabinetry and stuff for the cabin on the inside. Might give you a little showcase of what that's going on. And as you can see right here, this is kind of my winter method for hauling logs. Now it's not beautiful and it's not perfect, but it does work. And I got probably about a quarter mile or so. I got to go uphill and just go through the woods with it and drag it back and haul it onto the sawmill. It's definitely a lot of work, but well worth it to get some high quality spruce wood. So I'll show you how it goes after that. Hey, there's nothing easy or fun about this part. I've essentially just been packing down trail. This snow, it's like mashed potatoes, probably about a foot deep, pure slog. So yeah, it sucks. Maybe about 100 yards, a little past that. Maybe almost halfway there. Gotta keep going. Down to my skivvies, I'm so overheated. But we'll get you there. Some good wood in this tree. Okay, we pulled it up to the sawmill tent. It's a nice looking log here. And I've started peeling off the bark with this handy little tool here. And yep, good looking grain underneath. It's gonna be some good board footage out of it. So the reason I do that is because if you mill a tree with the bark on, it tends to dull your blades a little faster. So once that's done, I'll pull it into here. I got a nice timber jack. Yeah, probably won't need it for this size vlog, but for the bigger ones it definitely helps. And over here, I just got the little propane heater running. I'm warming up the sawmill, the motor, and the inside of the compartments here because there's a lot of frozen sawdust that I want to thaw out. And it doesn't even have a blade on it right now. I've got that right here. I'm going to be putting on a brand new blade, so it should have pretty perfect cuts. And then I'll be able to start making wood. So it's a process for sure, but it's well worth it. And with this kind of weather, might only have one day to do it for the next month or so. It's middle of January and it's a couple degrees above freezing, which is kind of odd, but this might be the only day I have, so I'm gonna make the most of it for making some wood. But yeah, it's still quite lovely out here, you know. Peek of the house, not finished though. Okay, made our first cut. Let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, look at that. Some nice grain. See how tight it is together? That's a good sign. Not rotten, not wormy. It's already dried. Premium wood, I'd say. And if we're cutting them about an inch thick, after it's all squared up, we might get 6 or 7 boards out of it. We'll see. Either way, it's going to look nice. We'll keep going. Well, I had to wait for another warm day to finish making this video, but we got one in February. So I want to touch base on the things you need to know about operating a sawmill. One is that it must be covered. Now, I'm lucky enough to have this tent here to keep it free from precipitation, but you need to have it covered if it's outside. It will rust. It's not good. Brushing off snow. Number 2, they cost a lot. The upfront cost of a sawmill can be as low as $2,000 for a new one to as high as $50,000 for a really fancy one that does a lot of the work for you. So if you want it to be a worthy investment, you need to make a lot of lumber, because the more you make, the better returns you'll get in the long run. So this spruce log here has been squared up on all 4 sides. It's ready to go into wood, and we're probably at like 7 inches by 6 inches or 7 by 7 or so. So it's going to give us a fair amount of boards. Probably get like 35, 45 square feet out of it. I'm not really sure. So that's really nice. But if you're familiar with the square cubed law, the larger tree that you put on this mill, or any mill for that matter, you will get significantly more lumber out of it. So I try to think of like my minimum that I would mill would probably be like 8 or 9 inches. Because that's kind of a small log if you're thinking about it. And once you take off all the corners and all the round edges, and then you're actually making boards out of it, you're still not even gonna get a lot out of it. So right here, that's all the cutoff, and that can be turned into firewood for the stove. And my little dog came up here, hang out. Right here, I have a bunch of cedar wood, and this is only 3 trees right here. These are dead standing trees on the property. I'm gonna turn those into boards pretty soon. Got this massive base here. It's rotten in the middle, but we'll still get a shit ton of wood out of it because it's so big, you know, when you think about the square cube law. So you still get quite a lot of board footage even out of that. And cedar is really nice to cut because it's very lightweight, and it's just such an amazing wood in general. Other things to consider with operating a sawmill: there are little parts and pieces that break. You have to replace your blade fairly often when it starts getting dull and making wavy cuts. There's bearings and blade holder pieces that you need to adjust pretty regularly. Need to keep an eye on oil, make sure there's enough gas in the tank there, and make sure that you're always running water through it. And that's why you can't run it below freezing, because the water needs to not freeze, because it's a lubrication for your wood. And if you run it enough and you run it for long enough, I mean, it'll pay for itself over. This entire board, when it's turned, or this entire log, when it's turned into boards, might be worth $125, $150 if it were selling for retail. But these cedar logs out here, dramatically more. Cedar siding is stupid expensive, so that's what I'm building this out of. I'm building cedar siding for my cabin, and yeah, it'll probably be like a $5,000 or $6,000 value for maybe 4 or 5 trees. And all I'm doing is making it myself, putting in a lot of extra labor, but it's well worth it if you ask me. And if you take good care of your sawmill, it'll last you 10, 15, 20 years. You can always replace parts. You can always modify them, add on to them. It's really cool. And I would recommend doing it if you wanted to get into this sort of life and you wanted to start making your own lumber. If you got land or trees around you, never a bad idea to just invest in a sawmill, because the more you use it, the more it pays for itself. You don't have to rely on the economy and lumber prices. You produce your own wood. It's got high value, and it feels a lot better making stuff out of your own, product. So just keep that in mind. All right, after all's said and done, this is the result from one log. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boards, plus some studs I made with the rest of it. And this is like premium quality spruce. This is really good stuff. Some of the best I've ever made. I didn't even make it that thin, so I could have made 1 or 2 more boards extra, but no, I'm pretty happy with it. Got one here that's got live edge, but you can always just cut that down with a table saw. And then there's the scraps. That's just one log, so it's a pretty good return if you ask me. Only took me about, hour and a half to do it all. So very much well worth it. So I'll be seeing you in the next one, and you'll be seeing just how far I've come along with my cabin building process, using a lot of homemade sawmill lumber. Thanks for watching.